Tails didn't have the biggest role in '06, but I think the epitome of Force is Tails. No, it's not the scene where he's flinching over Chaos Zero. It's the scene where he's standing in a lineup with modern Sonic and classic Sonic in the Avatar, and he's got his action-ready pose. And Doctor Eggman is just there in the new Death Egg robot, and he's just like, I'm the villain. I'm gonna take over the world. And they're all just standing there, and Sonic's making a speech, and Tails is in his action-ready pose, and the two Sonics and the Avatar run against the robot, and Tails just stands there and strikes a little pose and puts his fist in the air like, yep, that's you, Tails. You look like you're gonna help, you don't help. It would have been great to see you get involved in the fight. It would have been wonderful, but no.
So I've been of two minds about Tails' portrayal in Forces. At first, I didn't care, because I joke about it in my Sonic 2 video, but like that's how I felt as a kid. Still kind of how I feel now. I understand why people love the character. I never did. I don't think his design worked compared to Sonic's. I never really cared about the character. That said, when you have a game like Forces, and what we talked about back in the story elements of things, like yeah, you know what? Ultimately, it's easy enough to wave off Sonic like this is silly stuff. The stories don't matter. When you have like end of the world nonsense, when you tell us like, hey, this is continuity from previous Sonic games, even if it's from the dimension and we're retconning everything. Like, the stories matter. The character arcs matter. And you can't ignore Tails was always like a really solid sidekick to Sonic. He had to keep up with Sonic, and he had a whole character arc about going up against Eggman and stepping out of Sonic's shadow in an adventure. And then by the time Adventure 2 happened, like, he's his own man. He is his own little fox boy. And, like, he's the direct rival to Robotnik, like the series antagonist in Sonic Adventure 2. Like, I can see why the Tails fans are like, yo, this is not okay, man. Like, he's fought this thing before. Like, he wouldn't just completely lose his crap because his entire identity revolves around Sonic. Yeah, it sucks, and he would be in a lot of pain, but like he would step up to the plate because that's what Sonic does. Yeah, again, I'm already going against my own arguments with Forces.
No, I agree with you kind of here as well. I mean, I guess that's not the purpose of the video, is agreeing with each other, but like this is a three-dimensional thing right here.
Right, unlike Sonic Forces.
Like I'll say, I'm a Tails fan. Like I've said what I've said about him, but I'm a fan of Tails. Like. Especially for Boom, to be honest. Like, the Sonic Boom TV series, like, love it or hate it, I think it did good things with the characters that we have, like Sonic, absolutely. Amy, Knuckles. Like, it's nice to just hear them, like, talk to one another, you know? Like, we don't really get that in the games. And, like, you know, I kind of grew to really like Tails as kind of the straight man of the group, and what I've always loved about Tails, he's more than capable of having all of the glory that Sonic gets. Like, Tails is so capable, and he's done stuff. He's done big stuff. Like, I'm sounding like Trump right now. I've done stuff. I've done big stuff.
Religion and politics, folks. Welcome to your Sonic podcast.
Welcome back to Channel Pop. You tell me not to get political, I do it anyway. Man, where was I? Yeah, no, Tails has done big stuff. Like, he's made a mech. Like, I know that there's some debate as to who actually made the tornado. I've always kind of veered towards Tails because he's a mechanic and all. I know it's not the Sonic X version, but...
Oh, yeah, Sonic X. I keep forgetting that exists.
Yeah, in Sonic X, it's implied that it's Sonic's plane. Which I guess...
assume Tails made it, though. Like, it was Sonic's plane back in the old games, too, but I always assumed Tails made it.
And this is another thing that really fuels my headcanon. The fact it says Sonic on the side of it, it's just like, you know, he's letting Sonic have his time in the sun. I like to believe that Tails has a much higher mental age than Sonic does. But, yeah, no, like, Tails, you know, he could have made a machine to rival the Phantom Ruby. I mean, he made the Phantom Ruby prototype thing, but we don't really explore that much. But, like, it's the thing is, like, if he can do all that stuff in that game, why can he not take down Chaos and Dr. Robotnik and stuff like that as well? I guess, like, there is the bit where they say Tails has totally lost it, and I think we all assumed that Tails had gone full Joker, when really, like, he was just kind of a bit more of a pussy bitch boy than usual, I guess.
And we really should, sorry to interrupt you, but we really should address, because by this point, like, we're like well past this point, but you know somebody in the comments is going to say, well, translation error, this or that and the other. Fine, but everything else you've been saying, I'll keep going from there.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, it plays out like a very poorly translated, Japanese script, and I do wonder if there were to be like a subtitled version of the Japanese one, not like with the subtitles from the English script, because I know that's what you'll get if you try to combine the two, but with the actual Japanese words and everything. I think it's probably going to be as Takashi Iizuka would say, a whole new experience.
Right.
Like, I know that there was this trailer that came out before it. I think it was like an E3 trailer or something, or a launch trailer, and it only released in Japanese at first, and people did translate it, and there's like a bit where Dr. Robotnik is like, in 3 short days you will all be dead, and my plan will have succeeded. In the English dub, he says, in 3 short days, my plan will eliminate the bothersome loss of you, and it's like, Okay, so they went a bit harder with the Japanese dub, evidently.
I guess so. Wow.
So maybe when Tails is tinkering with Omega, he's just like, oh god, we live in a society or something. I don't know, but that's when he's totally lost it.
Oh man. Well, man, I don't even know where. I feel like I'm playing Whose Line Is It Anyway, where the points don't matter. Forces. Whatever, both these games, whatever, throw them in the fire. Forces tells me, more than any other game, that this cast does not matter. This cast means absolutely nothing, and Sonic is the only one in this world that makes any kind of a difference. And I could argue to myself,
that's true, yeah,
that Sonic is the glue that they need to bring out the very best of them. Like, it's Ninja Turtles. It's Donatello and Leonardo. Like, hey, Donatello is super smart, super capable, but they need Leo's patience and guidance to really help coordinate this amazing group and make, and bring out the very best of all of them. And I'm arguing that point in the case of Sonic, but I mean, if we're just going through the story here again, like, you can clearly see, like, that's not thought out. Like, that's not.
Yeah, it doesn't play out that way, actually, in the game's story. It plays out more like with Justice League, where they're kind of struggling until Superman arrives, and it's just like, piece of cake, done.
Yeah, exactly, and it's ridiculous. And how much cooler would Sonic Forces be if it is the story of all of his friends trying to get him back out of jail? Or how much more interesting would Sonic Forces be if all this crap happened while Sonic was still there anyway? Like, he just was not capable of handling this. Regardless of how quick he is, he can't beat Infinite.
This is what I thought it was gonna be. Like, when we first saw that, I didn't think, oh yeah, he's gonna get dragged up to the Death Egg and stay there for months. I thought it was gonna be that Doctor Eggman just went really hard with it, and he was just like, right, you know what, let's make 10 Death Egg robots instead of 1. Let's get the Death Egg back up in the sky. I'm gonna get mass producing these guys. Like, we're gonna kill Sonic this time. We're gonna take over the world. That's what I thought it was gonna be. Not just, oh yeah, no, it's my usual plan, but Sonic is in space now, so like, just, we take our time with it,
Yeah.
And it's just, it bugs me, because I thought that'd be good character development, and like, the game starts off with him like, oh, Sonic, how I hate him. I'm gonna go extra hard this time. I've got Infinite here. My main man is gonna make a dope-ass diss track, and Sonic will be toast.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what I'm actually was hoping from Sonic Forces was what I was hoping from Sonic 06, which is I want Sonic Adventure 3. A proper Sonic Adventure 3. I want these characters back, and you know what? Both those games could have done it better. I didn't like the jarring transition from level to level in the second game. I didn't like the fishing crap in the first one, but you know what? Like, it's time. It's time to bring these characters back. We need more than just the boost formula. Like we were talking about the other day online. What I wanted from Forces was like, hey, this is a time to shine. Like, hey, everything's desperate. It's time for all these characters to matter. And I don't know where I'm getting that thought process from. Like, the first trailer showed us it's Sonic, classic Sonic again. But I don't know, man. Like, I feel like we're at this point where it's like, fine, keep the boost formula. I think it worked best with Shadow, if I'm honest, with those extra levels. I thought were the best part of the entire game. Give that for the fast characters. Give the open exploration to Knuckles. It doesn't need to be emerald bits. Make it a collectathon for his levels. Like, make it a true 3D world for him with the kind of adventure style gameplay. Make Tails matter again. It's just... Yeah,
I think that's also, I
there.
think, like, the whole Tails thing is kind of... It shows that they didn't know what to do with these characters in Forces. And it's like, they've got them there, so we're going to make kind of a little ragtag resistance, and they can talk in the corner of the screen and stuff like that. But I think, really, if you're going to include these characters, you got to let us play as them. Or at least have them work in kind of a structured way like they did in Generations, where you got to rescue them. Like, the characters kind of act as trophies there, but you got to have them kind of fall into the gameplay mechanics. You can't just have them having a bit of chit-chat in the corner of the screen and just being there for the cutscenes when they don't really play an overall role in the game. Like, it's not enough to just have them in the story. They've got to be a part of the experience, and that's why you've got stuff like Tails just not really serving in the battles but being set up to. It's why you've got stuff like Chaos Zero just making an appearance but not actually being a boss. Shadow's clone just gets knocked out by the real Shadow. The clone thing as well, oh my god, just...
And where was
he?
Hated
that.
Where was he?
What, the
that
whole time?
Yeah.
I think the whole thing was like the episode Shadow thing was him trying to sort of get back to the battlefield after he'd been kind of knocked out.
Was he knocked out? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. He was kind of put under. He was kind of put into the Phantom Ruby illusion for a bit, and then the whole idea is he just kind of got back from that. Yeah.
Okay, that the mix. It's not the best, but they tried. I'll give them that.
So I guess the short version was, for my kind of final analogy here in regard to like the Sonic 06 Sonic Forces thing, like my reasoning for kind of, like how best to word this. Sonic, after Sonic 06, and heck, after like Heroes and stuff, like every single damn Sonic video you saw on the internet by like a professional journalist would start off with, oh, Sonic's had a hard time lately, and will he be able to make it again? There was always kind of this air of cynicism to it. And then you had Colors come out, and then you had Generations, and people are no longer doing that now. And then they freaking dropped the Boom Bomb, and then they dropped this, and now it's always, oh, Sonic's been having a hard time again. We got to do that again now. We've just blown his credibility. Like, my issue with Forces is we had some goodwill built up over this time, and it just pissed all of that away. With Sonic 06, it came at a time when Sonic was just kind of going downhill anyway, and 06 was kind of the low that he needed to reach to make them decide, okay, guys, we're going to have to turn him into a fucking werewolf. Like, we got to do that. we gotta put this franchise back on track for the next one. No more melodramatic storylines. No more going too hard with these characters that serve no real purpose. We're just gonna get back into the line of what Sonic should be: Sonic versus Dr. Robotnik and the world at stake. Like, let's just kind of do that. So I kind of just see Sonic 06 as kind of just this little nugget of an overall declining franchise, whereas like Sonic Forces is the one that pissed it all away. For me. That's why I resent it. And the final analogy, I guess, is like after Unleashed, I felt like I'd just eaten a steak dinner, and then like Colors was a happy meal, and it was nice enough, and Generations was a better happy meal, and I enjoyed it, and I was like, come on, steak dinner now, please. And they said, okay, sure, we'll do a steak dinner, and then they gave me microwaved steakums, and I was just like, okay, I should have known better. Alright, this is just what this is now. And it's like, okay, well then I guess I'm not very interested anymore. We're just going to leave it at that. So that's why for me, like, Forces was the egregious point where I'd kind of changed my mind about Sonic, basically.
Yeah. So it sounds like both of these games kind of, they took a really, like a good gameplay style. And we're not exactly on the same page with Unleashed. I think it's better than people give it credit for. Absolutely. But I still feel like there needed to be growth. There needed to be improvements from there. But it's a good starting point. And it's the same thing for me with Adventure, the first Adventure game, where it's like some of the gameplay is really good. Like really, really, really good. And a solid foundation to build and learn from. And both in the cases of Forces and 06, it's taking this fundamental gameplay and arriving at the worst possible solution for both of them. And that is incredibly frustrating on both ends there. I guess when it comes down to like why I would take Forces over 06 is because I don't agree with people when they say it's not as bad as people make it out to be, or it's been long enough, like you need to get over anything like that. Like that game tainted the franchise going forward, and you can see that fear and that lack of confidence in every game going forward. And I think ultimately it's Sonic, it's on Sonic Team, it's on Sega, it's on these guys who keep releasing this stuff, who've been making bad decisions since the 90s. The Genesis, Mega Drive, that's like the one smart thing they've done. Like, that's it. As far as systems are concerned, they've been making bad business calls this entire way through, and they're still putting it all on Sonic. That still lives on in this franchise. When it comes to Forces in 06, Forces is just... It's another stupid step in this silly nonsense franchise. One I can tolerate well enough, roll my eyes and say, okay, fine, that's done. I'm gonna be trepidatious. I'm gonna see what you do next time. And if you knock it out of the park, I'll be with you. Otherwise, I'll wait till it's on sale. 06, like I was there, like that was, and again, like I think it's interesting. Like we're talking at it from like we're both of different ages. We're both of like we came at this franchise at different times, and I think that's absolutely fascinating. I'm getting off on the tangent here because like Godzilla 98, everyone hates that movie. That was my jump on point for that entire franchise. And at that point, I was like, this is awesome because I love Jurassic Park. I'm going to go explore the rest of the stuff that's just already here for me to explore. And I think that's beautiful. Like, I've never thought of 06 that way, which is, I like your perspective on it. But
it's like a little time capsule in a way.
Yeah, for sure. But for me as a fan, I've been old enough to, like, Mario 3 was the first game I remember playing, and then seeing Sonic 1 and being like, what on earth is this? I don't mind seeing Green Hill over and over again because it's like, this is the Sonic landscape. Should you tool it up a little bit? Absolutely. This feels a little bit too safe. And like, we're us nostalgic fans, we're not going to be here for you every single time. We're not going to keep recovering for you guys. Calm it down. But they keep using it because it mattered. Like that zone in the 90s and that design, like that, like people don't understand. Like, yeah, Adventure 2 brought it back when he, finally was released from Sega hardware and like a new generation of Sonic fans were made, but like you guys don't understand like how big of a deal he was. Like that franchise changed gaming. It changed everything. And Sonic was everywhere, and it was the coolest thing, and it was just this upward slope. And then I just had to watch it get to this point. And everything since then has been unfocused, it has been scared, and they are learning all the wrong lessons. Let's remove the 3D gameplay. Let's remove all the characters. Let's play as safe as possible and still get it wrong. Let's try and reinvent the classic franchise, and we still can't manage it. We can make Sonic 4, and we have no idea what we're doing. And that all stems from me because 06 happened. They allowed this to happen. They allowed this game to come out in this mess. And just to put a bow on it, just so I can shut the hell up because I'm rambling too much.
No, it's fine. It's good.
These are 2 unfinished games. One of these games, they just released it as it was. This mess, like, here's as far as we got. We're done. Our head producer, the guy who helped create this franchise, he's out. You want this out right now? Fine. It's done. Here it is. In this unfinished state. The other one is like, well, we had all these cool ideas. We started off with a really ambitious goal. We're not going to make it in time. Wrap it up and release as best as it can be in the state it's in. And I don't know what happened between those 2 times because, again, something we didn't really bring up during this podcast, but like you mentioned, there was a year to make Sonic 06, and there is 4 years at least for Forces. Like something happened in that time. I don't know what happened.
Forces, like I believe 3 of the 4 years working on it went towards concept art, and there was
at least
only 1 year of actual development time. And another thing with that was that they had time. They had 4 years to do it. They just spent 3 of them piss-assing about making new concepts for Green Hill Zone. It just gets sadder when you think about it. And they only had 3 level designers work on Sonic Forces. And
I've heard that, yeah.
They
My
were
comments
all
on
people
that video.
Have never worked on it before, and it was directed by the guy that did Lost World, so he doesn't really know how to really get the best out of the boost formula as such. Although, now that I've played Lost World, because it came out on PC, that game is an underrated gem in my opinion. I love Lost World. Like,
how many times can you say that about the Sonic franchise, though? Like, how many of these are just, like, untapped potential? Or, like, these are like, hey, there's a really cool idea in here, let's see where it goes. And that's the problem with it. Like, Lost World, in that case, I don't trust them at all. Like, yeah, there's a lot of cool ideas here. The next one would have just been worse. That's just where my headspace is at, because that's the consistent through line here, is these are really cool ideas, these are really cool mechanics, and you're learning the wrong lessons each time, or you're clearly trying to hit a fiscal goal here and get that Christmas jump in here, because we're just gonna consume it anyway, and it's fine. It's fine. They'll deal with crap. They'll argue amongst each other. People will still defend it. It's fine. Let's carry on.
And this is what bugs me most about Forces. They learned that lesson with 06. And, like, with Unleashed, they had kind of proved that they'd learned something from it. The Sonic has to abide by certain fundamentals, and they carried that over to Colors, and they carried it over to Generations, and they carried it over to Lost World. Boom, I don't count, because, like, Rise of Lyric was by a completely different dev team. It's a completely different kettle of fish. It was intended as an alternate universe thing, so I can just, like, swipe that, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
But Forces proved that they had learned nothing. It proved that all of those lessons that they had seemingly learnt were just flukes, and that just made me feel kind of ill.
I'm with you there. Like, I don't know if I ranted about it in my video or not, but like, I was in that mind space with you when that game came out too. Was like how many times do you think we're gonna let you get away with this? Like, how many times do you think we're gonna be here for you?
Exactly.
And let you still do this? Like, fool me once kind of a thing. And it's just embarrassing. It's really embarrassing and frustrating, especially after we see good games. Again, Unleashed, I don't like the Werehog stuff, but it's playable and it's finished. Should it be a little bit faster? Should there be improvements here and there? Fine, we can argue that back and forth, but it's not broken. It's a complete game. It's a beautiful game. Colors, I mean, I'm hearing more and more people like naysay that game, but when it came out, people were all about that thing.
It was because it was just what everyone wanted it was what everyone asked for. Like, it was just nothing but daytime stages from Unleashed, and it was a little bit more simplified. The thing I don't like about Colors is how much block platforming there is when you reach the 2D sections. Like, that's not Sonic platforming. That's just platforming for the hell of it.
Yeah, right there with you, dude. I am right there with you. That is my biggest complaint about the boost stuff, is like, you know what? Stop breaking away from it. This is this is garbage. I do not like that block platforming. That's the best way to describe it. I didn't know how to describe it, how different it was from the momentum-based stuff, but block platforming is the perfect way to describe it.
Oh man, so I think we're ready to conclude this. What would you say?
I'd say we've done our part and done everything we could say.
The overall outcome of this, the victor of the two, is Sonic 4 Episode 1. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for joining me, Nick. It's been a blast, been awesome. And we got to do more of these, to be fair, but I think I'm going to split this into like 4 or 5 parts, because it's an hour and a half long.
Yeah, man, I was worried we were going to do this. Like, we were just talking on Facebook, and it was like we were immediately getting into it. I was just like, should we wait for the podcast? Because I was like really into our conversation. Like, it's been awesome talking with you, man. No,
it's been great. Okay, so do you want to have a little plug for your channel now that we're at the end?
Sure. So, like I said up front, or the first episode of this, depending on where you're at, my name is Nick. My channel is called Game Apologist. The main thrust of that is finding the good in bad games. But I also do some other shows. One I'm really, really passionate about, and nobody's going to watch. I've only 1 episode out. It's called Gamecation, where I look for real-world locations in video games, and they give you a compiled list of what games you can explore. So like I did Area 51. Here's a bunch of games you can explore Area 51. Do an episode on Salem, and other sort of places like that. But it's just, yeah, that's my channel. I do very scripted things. I do a lot of research. I try to tell as many jokes as I can. And if you want to give it a shot, I'd really appreciate it.
And he's got a cool, flashy character avatar.
Oh, shucks. Called Ben 10, I guess.
Alright, well guys, thank you so much for watching. What do you guys think? Comment below and discuss. Like, why don't we have a little vote? Like, what game do you think is the better of the two? Comment below and discuss. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are the links to Nick's channel, my Patreon, and my Discord. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day. You want to say goodbye, Nick? Oh, it seems his internet connection is cut out. Okay, well, I'll say goodbye on his behalf then. Once again, this video is sponsored by NordVPN, and you can get 4 months free with a 3-year subscription by using my discount code. Everything you need is in the description below, so check it out. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you? Because you could get a way better costume from Zentai Zone. Check out their range of custom-made, tailored superhero costumes. Ridiculously good quality, value, and customization. Link is in the description below, as well as my coupon code CHANNELPUP, where you can get a discount off of your purchase. And while you're at it, why not get your suit designed by my talented buddy Dan from New Blood Dan's workshop? You can contact him via the link in the description below. Seriously guys, you do not want to miss out on your chance to be your favorite superhero and feel authentic and professional. And you don't want to miss out on that Channel Pup discount.
Can you feel the sunshine? Does it brighten up your